Hey guys, what is up, and I welcome each and every one of you to a new League of Legends video. So today we're going to be going over a Riot post that just was released not too long ago, honestly, and it's going to be going over some massive changes coming over to the crit items that's going to affect a lot of champions like AD carries, Yasuo, Tryndamere, maybe even someone like Master Yi, you know, things like that. So I want to go over the changes with you guys because they are obviously pretty big ones. Let me know in the comments below what you think about these changes as well, because it's very important. Now, keep in mind, these changes are not 100% guaranteed to ship, but regardless, it is going to give us a good idea as to what Riot is looking, right? What kind of paths they're looking down to change the crit items, because everyone's been waiting for the crit items to be changed, right? Especially AD carries. So let's get this party started. So what are the current goals with this current iteration? Crit users have an item path that they're excited about. Crit users have more defensive options that aren't way off curve, which is, you're going to see some examples, some really wacky ones. And crit users are more satisfying in solo queue for all levels of play. So starting things off, we have IE reversion. So we have Infinity Edge that goes out of a simple BF sword and a pickaxe, which I believe is what it used to go out of. And essentially it just goes back to exactly what it was, right? AKA a reversion, of course. So that's, you know, back to normal, nothing too crazy. But as we move on, you're going to see it gets a little bit more spicy. Now we have a new Infinity Edge direction number 2. Cost 5,000 gold for IE and a Zeal upgrade changes, right? So check it out. So we have the Zeal itself and 2 BF swords, 5,000 gold Infinity Edge. Let's see what it does, right? I mean, that's got to be quite a good item. 5,000 gold, you get 80 attack damage, 30% attack speed from Infinity Edge, keep that in mind, 5% movement speed, and of course increases critical strike chance by 50%, and critical strike damage, or bonus damage, by a fair and balanced amount. Obviously that specific sentence will change, but you know, it gives you an idea. So it pretty much gives you everything you want as an AD carry, right? What do you get? You get movement speed, so you can position better. You get attack damage, obviously. Attack speed, of course, AD carries. You want that. You get critical strike chance and critical strike bonus damage. It is the perfect item for AD carries, though of course costing you 5,000 gold, which, I mean, isn't horrible because the build path isn't all that bad, to be honest with you. You know, all these items, they cost 1,300 gold a piece, essentially, you know, with the finished Zeal, of course. And all of these items give you nice power spikes, nice damage, nice stats, you know, it's not too bad, right? So this is going to be an interesting one for sure. Whether or not it's a good one, I don't know for sure. Of course, that's going to be up for debate, I would say. But this is going to be something that's going to be really, not really sure how many people are going to feel good about this or bad about this. So we'll get back to this one a little bit later. So let's move on. What else do they have in store for us? 25% crit Zeal items, right? So 2,800 gold for this, which is, I believe, the same cost as it currently is. We have 30% attack speed, 25% critical strike chance, and 10% movement speed with the passive of course, Energizing, which, you know, deals extra damage. And Energized attacks gain 35% bonus range and generate 25% faster. So this one isn't too much different. The only real difference is the fact that it offers you 25%, I think, rather than 30, I believe, right? That's the only real difference there. So taking a look at this IE one more time, since it increases critical strike chance by 50% rather than doubling it, so if you were to get something like this will actually give you 75% critical strike chance once you finish the items, while the current one will actually only give you 60%, right? Because currently gives you 30 plus double, which is 60. So if you get both of these items, for instance, it'll give you more critical strike chance. However, that being said, this also costs you a lot more than the current Infinity Edge. So obviously keep that in mind. So next we have, of course, Static Shift, which gives you also 25% crit rather than, I believe, 30%. I keep forgetting the exact crit because I know one of them is a little bit different. So that's, you know, obviously something similar to this, just very, very similar concept. This is where it gets super, super wacky. So flexible, can go in either pitch, right? So Hexdrinker, first off, builds out of a stopwatch. Why does it build out of a stopwatch? I mean, it no longer gives you MR, and upon taking magic damage, that would reduce the HP below 30%. It grants a shield that absorbs magic damage, but it doesn't build out of magic. Weird. I'm not gonna lie, a little bit weird. Not really sure if I'm liking this one. It only gives you a 20 attack damage for 1,300. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not really feeling this approach. This feels a little bit weird. I don't know. Maybe because we're so used to giving MR. Maybe we're so used to the whole, you know, null magic or whatever. I don't know. This one's a little bit questionable, but it gets even more questionable because we have Phantom Dancer, a defensive Phantom Dancer. Now, I'm not really sure if this means that they're going to completely remove the current iteration, and this, assuming this ships, this will be the only iteration of Death's Dance. If that's the case, no, please. Anyway, so what do they have here, right? They have a Zeal, Hexdrinker, which we just looked at. Combine them together, add a little bit of extra gold, You get a new Phantom Dancer. What does it give? 20 attack damage, 30% attack speed, 30% crit chance, and 5% movement speed. Now, I believe the current Death's Dance does not give any damage whatsoever. Let me just double check once again, just so I can be 100% sure. Sorry, Death's Dance. What am I saying? Death's Dance. Phantom Dancer. I can't even speak right now. Why was I saying Death's Dance this whole time? I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm sorry, boys. Yeah, it does not. It gives you 45% attack speed currently, while now it'll only give you 30%. And other than that, essentially the same, of course, with the addition of the attack damage and the passive, which is obviously completely different. The passive no longer gives you the extra movement speed, no longer gives you that damage reduction when you attack the most recent target or whatever. Now it just works essentially the same as this passive from the Hexdrinker, where you just get reduced, or you get a shield to essentially reduce the damage you take from magical damage, I believe. Let's take a look exactly, actually. It might be a little bit different. No, it's a little different. Upon taking damage, that will reduce your health below 30%, and you get a shield that absorbs 280. This absorbs 110 to 280, so the highest level that this one would do overall. And it grants you 40% decaying movement speed for 5 seconds. So they're trying to actually incorporate a little bit of the old Phantom Dancer in this, while combining the quote-unquote new Hexdrinker into this as well. Just kind of just throwing them both in a blender and just praying something good comes out. And this is what we have at the moment. Is it good? I mean, you're going to be buying it for completely different purposes, right? Currently, you buy Death's Dance for just either or just a huge amount of attack speed, which of course has been lowered, so there's that kind of out the window, but it does give you AD to make up for it, so maybe you can buy it a little bit early on, which, you know, could be a thing, right? It could be more of an early to mid-game item as opposed to being very just powerful late game at the moment. And it's not going to be as good when it comes to dueling, unless, of course, you're split pushing against a magical damage dealing champion. So I don't know. Honestly, I kind of like the way Phantom Dancer is at the moment. I personally love it. I think it's just that item that you go for if you want to duel. If you want to just get, you know, reduced damage and you want to be just a really powerful duelist. You know what I mean? I personally like that. I think it's cool. This one, I'm a little bit questionable about. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't like these ones. I'll be honest. I do not like those at all. Thank you, Windows. Appreciate it. Anyways, next up we have Essence Reaver Broadening. What do we have? Essence Reaver, 2,000 gold, 75 attack damage, 20% cooldown reduction, 300 mana, basic attacks refund 1%. All right, this looks super similar to the current Essence Reaver. I need to double check this. What is exactly the difference? Because it looks so similar. 3,000 gold is the same, so it still gives you the same attack damage. It still gives you the same CDR. It'll still give you the same mana. It'll still reduce the same amount of mana per basic attack. And dealing 30% of a champion's health within 2.5 seconds grants you Essence Flare. Okay, that's the difference. So rather than using your ultimate, you actually have to deal 30% of a champion's health to proc it. And you gain, essentially, I believe, 50% attack speed, 20% reduction. Yeah, you gain essentially the same effect. It's just the only difference is this one sentence right here. But why would you have to do 30% of a champion's health within 2.5 seconds? Why? Like, why? This will be like a late game item now, I think, unless you're an AD carry that just scales really hard early, like Draven, for instance, that gets, you know, snowballed really fast. Then he can deal 30% of a champion's item with a single crit. So you can get this mid game for sure. Maybe even, honestly, depending how fed you get, you can get it fairly early. But I just don't understand why you have to deal 30% to proc it, like, as opposed to what it is. It's just, I feel like they're changing this one just for the sake of changing it, you know, just for the sake of having something different and being like, yeah, here's something new. What do you think, right? I don't know. I'm not liking that one as much either. Energized Stormrazor, costing you 2,800 gold, building out a little bit differently as well. Now you have this as well. Anyway, 60 attack damage, 35% attack speed, movement and attacking will now make it energized. Very similar again to something like a static shiv, something like a rapid fire cannon, right? So you get Storm's Edge. Wait, that's the wrong one. What the hell? There's two. All right, never mind. Okay, so as you walk and do attacks and all that stuff, you energize it, and your energized attacks deal 80 bonus magic damage on hit, and your energized attacks damage is increased by 30% of attack damage. Now, this is actually pretty interesting. I can feel this. I like this one a bit. This is a bit more interesting to me, right? It gives you a whole extra kind of item for the whole energized concept, which we don't have too much of at the moment, in my opinion. So, you know, it's not bad to explore that option a little bit more. But I like the fact that it is increased by 30% of your AD. So that's going to be actually quite interesting. Even on someone maybe like Zed or Talon, right? That could be a lot of powerful stuff coming out. Don't think anyone like Yasuo. I mean, Yasuo can actually get this. Yasuo can easily get this item. And maybe you could, instead of getting Zerker Boots, you can just get this item as well. It's really powerful. It'll give you a lot of extra damage. It's possible. It is possible. But then we have another Stormrazor, Multiproc Stormrazor, where it gives you 60 AD and 35% attack speed, which is the same, but gain a charge of Storm's Edge every 10 seconds, max 3 charges. So I'm guessing you just passively get it. So, you know, you're walking from fountain back to the mid lane or something like that. And you're just getting it. And then your next basic attack against a champion deals 30 to 80 damage and grants 40% movement speed for 0.5 seconds. That's actually not bad. That's also interesting, right? It's different. It's very different, but in a good way. I can see that, but you have to play around that. So, I mean, the fact that you just gain the stacks for free, I don't know, because there's no way to kind of mess this up, you know? There's no real counterplay to this, because usually you see the stacks, you're like, okay, he has the stacks, I'll be a little bit careful. But they can't waste them on minions. They'll use them on you and only you. So that's my only concern about that. Anyway, moving on. Last Whisper. So what do we have here? 20 attack damage, 20% armor penetration. I believe that is 10% more penetration or something, or 5%. Nothing crazy. New mob Mortius though. Check this bad boy out. What is going on here? This is just items after items. What does this offer? So out of a Hexdrinker, out of a Caulfield's Warhammer, and of course Null Magic Mantle. That's Null Magic Mantle. I forgot the name of it. Whatever. Anyway, what does it cost? 3250, 60 attack damage, 40 MR, 10% CDR. Okay, let's go ahead and check out Maw of Mortius. Let's see how much different the stats are exactly. So currently, it'll give you 10 more attack damage. It'll give you less, actually, MR, and of course the same CDR. Now, upon taking magic damage, that will reduce your health below 30%. Grants a shield that absorbs up to 350, which is the same, it seems like. Very, very same. Very, very similar. Actually, it is literally the same. And then when it triggers, you get 20 attack damage, 10% spell vamp, and 10% lifesteal, which is also the exact same. So honestly, not that new, I'll be honest. I mean, they're saying it's a new mod. It's really not that new, I'll be honest. It really isn't. Now, the reason that this exists now is because this no longer gives you MR. So in order for this item to still give you MR, you have to build this bad boy right here, which is a little bit awkward because it actually gives you less MR overall, even though it costs the same. And I mean, you get 10 AD, but you lose 10 MR. I don't think it's worth. I think that's not worth. I think the 10 MR is much more valuable than 10 AD, personally, because defensive stats are always much more valuable than offensive stats in a 1-to-1 ratio, especially, right? It's just not comparable. So a little bit of a nerf on this one. Unless I'm missing something entirely, this is a little bit worse. Thank you, Windows. I appreciate it. And that is about it. So there you guys have it. The new crit items are going to be... maybe coming to PBE, maybe not. Maybe Riot decides to scrap this entirely. Maybe they don't. But either way, let me know what you think about this change down below in the video, boys and girls. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy, definitely hit that like button, share with your friends, all that good stuff. And I'll see you for the next video. Peace.